this image in Photoshop that had like a glow on them, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I opened up this thing, I put a little skull on there, and then I realized, well, if I made a glass on top and then imported the same image again, 3D, shrunk it just a little, and put it underneath,
Mm-hmm.
what happens? And it looked like he had a little white aura around his head. So then
Oh,
if you
okay.
get a colored glass, like down here, right? You see you got all these little glasses here.
Mm-hmm.
You go into these little colored ones, and then you've got something that would emulate an aura from the skin or the whatever flesh. Like I had a cyclops I was doing it from. It looked really neat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Let's just have a look and see what I'm doing here.
Let's see here. I think I got
This
it in the
doesn't.
screen. Yeah, I do. Cool.
Okay. Uh, Now, can I make that bigger? Yes. There we go. Yeah, I made some changes to the software too, where uh, the base quality
Mm-hmm.
was at a really kind of 90s look. So going up to 42-bit and a bunch of other things here. Hold on, I can actually even show those. Yeah, over here. Take it down to this premium thing, and a normal render will take almost 2 hours.
A lot.
So,
It's
like,
not
while
that long,
you,
but
yeah, but then
for
I
just
got
an
my
AC, it's
PC.
not bad.
The thing with this software is it doesn't take all my resources. When it's rendering, instead of RAM, it uses CPU, and it only uses 50%, which not bad. But if I go out of the program to do something else, it stops.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back in, it'll restart the render, which isn't bad either, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
at least you're not blowing up software or something. I don't like this image anyway. Let's try something different here.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, let me see if I can open that up again. I'll show you. Where was that again? That was this one? Oh, yeah. Like, look at this skull. That's actually two skulls, one with a glass on top and a plasma thing underneath.
Oh, that's cool looking.
One thing you could do with this, if you wanted to spend the time, the plasma, you can go into the settings and change it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you move this little bar at the bottom here across the screen, little by little, it'll make it
Yeah.
look like flame in his head.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna be a day where I need like 6 hours. Lots of
Over render it.
coffee
Yeah.
and I'll put some music on and just that's the thing. There's a lot of patience in this. At least with drawing, you can kind of get up, wander off, and come back to it and do other things, and you can be doing other stuff. Um, what was that other one I had? Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna look at some other things today here. Here. There's just so much in here.
What's that program called?
It's called Bryce 7 or 7.1. I'm not sure if he's still allowing 7.1 to be free. But the other thing was that I was kind of shocked about is he gives out freely his Dazed Studio, which is a character modeler.
Yeah, I wonder what
And
that one is actually.
yeah, that's this. Hold on, maybe I'll bring that up too because you remember that little. I did a little animation of some girl doing a drop kick.
I don't remember that one to be honest.
Okay, well in
So I
Discord,
don't hang out in the Discord too much, usually because I'm working. So
yeah, hold on. Well, there's in this program they have these characters that you can set up in scenes, And then he's got this little system where you click on a little link inside the left bar and it drops down. It says fighting, it says melee, it says whatever. And you click on those and it's got a little kick stance. So you click on that and it applies it to that model. And it's kind of neat. They got like 10 of them set up for each of these little thingies, right? So you could do waving, you could do, the person could be, it just depends on what ones they've set up. The problem is that with that software, you're limited to personal, non-commercial use, whatever. If you wanted to go commercial, I think I read it, and it's really kind of odd that he will allow you to then use things commercially if you buy one of his other softwares, like this Poser or whatever software it was, plus the model in question that you're going to use. And they're cheap enough. It's like $5, $6, anywhere from $6 to $18 for a model, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, and for doing things, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna, it's a lot cheaper than it used to be. Like when I got into this back, I'll say in 2009, they wanted $15,000 for 3ds Max, and that was on sale.
Oh yeah, I know. I used to use it back in the day. Well, Studio. I used Studio back in the day.
Just
came out.
That's why when I first decided to get back into this again, I thought, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll convert everything over to Blender, and then I don't have to worry about this crap no more. And Blender won't import any of my old files.
That sucks. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's just lots of fun. Okay, let me see here. I want to get something interesting here. Get some Star Wars and Star Trek stuff done here. Okay, note all. They got a bunch of file names in here that they didn't name. So this is going to be a discovery process. Oh, wait. Okay, that's some kind of book. Yeah, usually when they have models that are high polygon counts, that's when I start to have the problems. And like I got
an older machine.
Like I got 16 gigabytes of RAM. I could be doing a lot more, but like if I took this into some of this stuff into 3ds Max, it will render, but it still lags my PC, and that's because I got in that case it would be a CPU issue where I only have dual cores.
Oh, okay.
And even though it pretends to have 4 cores, it's still
you're hyper-threaded.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're not supposed to do that anymore because people can hack you. Well, go ahead. It's like, what are you going to get? Everything I have is backed up. Okay, so I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a spaceship. That looks neat.
Have you thought about upgrading to the new Ryzen system? Or?
Well, I mean, the first thing I want to do, I would think, I got to upgrade my graphics card personally. I've got an old GTX 620, which has a gigabyte of RAM. That is a bad limitation to like, I mean, the card is now 6 years old. The card
is a lot of math.
Yeah. So,
I mean, even then, though.
But I had to sit around while all these Bitcoiners were buying thousands of them at a time, driving the price to the freaking wall.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So now it's come back to sanity. Now it's not a bad time to go grab one. Also, RAM is now cheaper. Okay, if I was looking at going to, when you want to do this kind of thing, you want RAM. Okay, and lots of it. I was looking at 32 gigabytes of RAM for a couple $100. 6 months ago, you wouldn't have got it for $400 or $500.
Oh yeah, I know. During that time, I was upgrading my machine.
Oh, I feel sorry for you, man. That's a
lot
of PC
I didn't get burned too bad. I got burned a little bit on the graphics card, but only by $100. So
that's not too bad.
I actually made that up because I sold my RX 480.
Well, see there, that's what I might do, right? Because I've looked after this card where what I do is I take the side off and I'm
Mm-hmm.
blowing extra cold air onto it to make sure it stays cool.
Oh, okay.
And so where the card doesn't have the extra cooling, which would have killed it by now, this card would have died 3 years ago if I didn't do this. That's what I'm,
Yeah, I
if you
get you.
don't know, to keep your stuff healthy, then you spend more money. That's convenience.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a look at this again. This is somebody made this giant space cruiser. Okay, let's try this out. I think I already did some animations on this or something. Import. That was this one. This one was big, I remember. Ooh. Over to here. Shrink that down. And let's see what it looks like. Oh. And see the colors on this where the person has already got materials on there.
Mm-hmm.
He's included a directory for that. And what you could do is change those. Like go into it, that's when you use Adobe Photoshop or
Yeah, yeah,
another
yeah.
program, and then you could change these things, right? You could put your own logo on here and have it fly by, and you know the reason I like this software is because okay, here's the little ship, right? Okay, so I go back out here and I grab a hold of it and I move it forward. And then I move the little time thing, the little button at the bottom here forward. And that's how easy it is to animate stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Simple things.
Mm-hmm.
This program isn't so friendly for importing somebody's rigged where they have the elbows that can move and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It doesn't like those. I don't know why. I think it's just, but I mean, hey.
Probably just limitations because it's free.
One thing I
Yeah.
thought was a cool idea. Where did I put that? Where did you go? Open part. This guy made, I swear, about 200. Um, it'd be like, how you have like a warrior or different types of soldiers that you could include in a game? He
Okay.
made them for 3D modelers, but you could take this stuff, shrink it down, and put it on a game board, and it would look kind of neat for some open source games. Because I look back at something like what was the one game there? It was like an Axis and Allies board game, right? And they
Okay.
have really crappy looking graphics. You gave out everything for free and commercial use, so you can go do this. I just thought it'd be neat to make your own version of the game and then put some graphics to it. And you could do little animations in them too, right? Like have him wave his sword or something.
Yeah.
That's this
Possibility.
directory. And when they were doing the Ethan Van Sciver was doing that fund me thing for Zach there. Uh, there we go. I found this
Yeah, I
image.
didn't watch that one. I was working at the time.
Oh, that Mark Wade. Seriously, he's got to walk around with bodyguards. I swear the way that guy carries on.
Well,
I'm serious because no one talks that way, man. No one. No one's that mouthy. Anybody
there's
who
a lot
is,
of people who are that mouthy.
well, yeah, but they only do it on a computer. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They get
They
out. They
won't
get
do
out
it to
into
you
the
in
real
person.
world. That whole tough guy thing goes away. Oh, is that standing up? Okay, hold on. I gotta tilt this. Oh. Not looking better. I gotta turn them around and shrinkage. There we go. I was going to make an image with about 500 because this guy Mark Wade called basically all of us a bunch of rat fucks, right?
Yeah, you
So
can
what I
call
did
it
was I
that.
was
Yeah,
going to make an
what?
animation of a whole about an army of rats with swords coming after him, saying we don't. And he said you're going to need chainsaws or some crap or other. So I said I'm going to say we don't need chainsaws. Have fun with it. It drives them nuts when you have
Yeah,
fun. Okay, just remember that. The more fun you have, the more insane they will go until finally their heads pop like a zit.
okay.
It's true, man. I'm not kidding you. I've been on the internet for 30 years,
Oh yeah,
and when people like that who are supposed to be making it, it's like they were saying on the stream that no one can figure out why they have all this time to be doing all this outside of their making their comic. They just like, don't you have something to do? You know,
no, he
answer
doesn't.
questions about your comic and keep it to the comic, and everything else, just say I'm not answering any of that. Problem solved.
True. Yeah, the
I've lived
degree
by
of
the
professionalism has gone down quite a bit.
well. I mean, I don't like my dad was a biker, and he would slap me if I swore at a place. Okay,
Yeah,
like it's just one of those things where there's a time and place for everything, I guess, and how would you think if every time you went up to the pot dealer or the drug dealer, and just before you got there, he'd slap you in the face, or he'd start calling you names and everything. You wouldn't want to deal with him.
I don't know. I don't go to those
No,
guys
I'm just
anyway.
saying. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I get you.
Or you went to McDonald's and you walk up to the counter and the guy says, "Did you vote Trump or Hillary?" And then no matter what you pick, you get called a Nazi.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know how I deal with that, eh? I go, well, my grandfather was in World War I, World War II, and he fought in North Korea, and my father was in the Air Force in the States, and I was in the first unit in Canada that actually had women in it. That was an elite unit up here that did things like with mortars that blew people up.
Okay,
Kind of gets people going. Ooh, he knows how to blow people up. Better leave him alone.
I guess. I don't know.
Uh,
I
ah.
I take a very civil approach. I run a store, so
Well, I did tell people like today after that, okay, I got up and this was after someone said, they're going to come back and attack us eventually here. I got up in the
what?
morning and went to like I started a YouTube thing where I was just seeing how stuff works. And okay, I'm in Canada and there's this trade little war thing going on and it's being a little stupid. And then
Yep.
I guess Trump in this deal decided he wanted more copyright term length for Canada, so we're going to get 20 more years added to our copyright. Well, at this moment, before the deal signed, Star Trek, the original series, is now out of copyright. It's public domain. I was gathering up all this Star Trek stuff, and then I was going to start talking to some people about doing something like Axanar. Wouldn't it be funny if, as Star Trek Discovery train wreck goes on, somebody does a professional version in Canada that kicks their bloody ass?
That'd be nice.
I, I want to reach out to the Axanar people, but they're in the States and I don't know what trouble that would make for them. And I know CBS and them had some tiff about things and then they settled or something. And that's because that guy down there, while it was copyrighted, used money from the fund me to fund something else, which was for profit. Why did you do that? Ah, dummy. Anyway, Richard
Well,
Hatch
some people don't make the best decisions.
passed away, so that's another issue for that one. But anyway, the thing is here, my idea of doing it is to keep it free,
Yeah.
right? And just have some place where I say, okay, here's a place where you can donate if you want to see more of this.
Okay.
And the idea is that completely kills piracy.
Um.
You know, you can go and pirate it now all you want, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
free anyway. You see, and there's 7 billion people on the internet, and if they're hearing that you're just saying, "Hey, donate," how much good sci-fi is out there? A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a trickle. I had other ideas too. So if this, and here's how it was complicated. So if Trump doesn't win the House, the Democrats said they're not going to allow him to do his NAFTA deal, which will delay it at least a while. So I might be able to do something, which is really weird because considering most of the Democrats are all actors and musicians, and you know what I mean.
I get you.
So, and then I heard Mexico is saying, "Listen, you still are tariffing our stuff when we told you we'll agree to this new deal. So until you take them off, we're not signing." Oh, yep.
I could care less what Mexico does.
The world has just gone stupid. This is why we need this escapism. Okay. Okay. We need a little bit of this to clear our brains of all the interference and propaganda on all sides.
Yeah. I agree.
Now, let's do something funky with this little creature. No, 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 no. And I will take that background and I want to do that. Take that out. See, that's another thing. They got presets for all the backgrounds in here and all that, which isn't bad. This is a good little starter program to get somebody that back into doing stuff and whatnot, and just to test out what these free models would be like, rather than sitting waiting for 15 minutes while 3ds Max loads up.
Well, your machine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I mean. On my
That's why I
machine,
was like saying you should go get the Ryzen machine because
well,
so
I'm on
Ryzen.
disability for a
Okay.
bad back, and
Okay.
I'm on a fixed income where I can save
Gotcha.
money. And I had, and this is part. I was the equivalent of the first. You know how there's GamerGate and ComicsGate? I'm
Oh
like the
yeah.
first gate. Okay, I happened in 2011 when the city I live in knows about my skills. They were going to set me up in a program with 9 other people who were doing different stuff, and they would give me 25,000 to start and $2,000 a month to live on.
Mm.
Okay, to keep this going. Now you got to think, if I'm doing special effects and 3D work and whatever else, I'm the guy that's probably going to do all the logos for these people. So I got 9 clients off the hop, right?
Okay.
Then it breaks that Warner Brothers in Canada here was uh, bringing foreign temporary workers into Canada and paying them less than $8 an hour to do this kind of work, which that would be like going to ask Mike S. Miller to make you a drawing for $5 that's full page. He'll tell you
No,
to go
I,
fuck
I've
yourself.
already got that already.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, and it's not the foreigners. See, this is where a lot of the racist people then pop up, and you can tell who they are. It's not the foreigner's fault. He's in a country where he might make $1 a month or some shit, or
Yeah.
$40 a month, right? And to make $8 for an hour, and you make, geez, you just made in one day you made a month and a half wages. You think it's great.
Yeah, back home. Yeah. Until you
Well,
realize the
Cuba,
cost.
okay,
Until
my
you
dad
realize
used
the
to go to
cost of
Cuba,
living.
and all the prices for stuff is exactly the same as it is here, except everybody there gets about $40 to $60 a month to live on. He says that's why you see 15 people living in a house.
Oh yeah, and they also have if they have family in the states, they get money sent back to them.
Yeah, well, this is
Yeah.
and this is the thing. So here I am on disability with a bad back where I can't do the physical labor anymore. And well, what am I going to do? Right?
Yeah, I get you.
You know. So I just gave up at that point. My dad said, "You know what? You should just do shit for free. They're going to screw you like that." I thought about that for a while, and then I got a hold of somebody who was a friend of Kevin Smith, and he took me to a little one of those little torrent sites, got me a whole shit ton of this software and tutorials so that I could get right schooled on it anyway, like 100%, and have all the right software and at least know what the software was, so that when you went to go 100% legitimate, you could then go and buy all the software legal. So, and I went for a few years, and now I'm sort of in between, going, well, yeah, but I mean, the capabilities here, there's lots to be done. It doesn't need to be Star Trek either,
Yeah, I get you.
Like, I got enough spaceships here, and I got enough out of the brain storytelling that I can do that. I did. I wrote an 1,800 word little synopsis that I just dreamed up one afternoon and put it on a website with like 2,000, 3,000 people, and everybody went and grabbed a copy and said, "You should do this." And I said, "Well, I don't have time right now." That's why I like that fan speak, where the one guy was going right into his little story on the AI there. That was the right way to tell it. You see, that's a pitch. It's a good pitch.
Yeah.
See, these would be good for game boards and stuff. You have like a map with like different countries, and here's the rat army people over here. And, yeah. Come on, pop up. Let's see, what's that do? Oops. Okay, put him over there. Okay, that was a cruiser, so we're going to rename that directory cruiser.
What part of Canada are you in?
Eh?
What part of Canada are you in?
I'm in Ontario.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, even in Ontario, I'm actually blessed even better, because let's say if I did want to pirate something, I'm actually covered by the law. As long as I'm not making money with it, then you can't have me bothered for copyright, which makes sense. I mean, why would you bother disabled people for messing around with stuff? I mean, they're not like they're rich people, and give them a little enjoyment, you know. And it's once, and that's why I like to try and use all these free things and show you guys the free software and the legal stuff, because I don't want anyone to get in trouble while they're doing something if they make a buck, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Yeah. Spider with animations. Let's see. So that was a spider. Let's see. And what is this? List. Okay. Yeah, at one time I had just about every single Star Trek ship that's ever been in the movies or on television. I don't know what I did with a lot of them. And we were at a website where all of us would get together and we would cut out the scenes that the show had or movie of the ship and put our own version in there, and then have other people critique it to with lighting, special effects, and little lasers and everything else coming on and off of these things.
That's
It's a
cool.
nice site until some idiot hacker who worked for Hollywood decided to go in there and wreck everything. Didn't like the fact that we were learning and doing all this stuff and not, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. They're just jealous. Site still exists. It's just not. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't have that fun feeling anymore. Where was that? I was looking for it again. There it is. Okay. Ooh, this looks big. I'm surprised. It's suddenly seems to be loading bigger files now for some reason. Hmm.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, if you one way to know in the past with this software, if it would because of that memory limitation, if it would load something, would be its file size. Like past a certain file size, I just wouldn't even bother trying to use it.
Yeah.
And now I'm having to experiment because something that's twice as big as that seems to load in, and then something that's three quarters that size doesn't seem to work. So it's some
Maybe
kind of
there's something else
complexity,
going
something
on.
in it that's mucking with it. Now this is the Defiant, eh? Let's see how good that looks. I don't like this background. Hold on here. Let's deal with that. It's too dark. Let's use this one, and then we'll get rid of the background. Turn this a little bit. Look at all the detail on that. Holy shit. Turn language. Yeah, that don't look too bad.
Defiant? Yeah, that's fine.
Something looks wrong with it though. Hmm. A minute. Okay, wait a minute here. Something about that back end that looks weird.
It's longer than normal.
Yeah, that's see that's what it was. It's the back end of that was off. See, from that angle, it looks okay. So maybe I'll take this into another software and play with that.
Yeah.
But the front,
Usually you don't see the back end of the ship anyway.
yeah, you're seeing like this angle here,
Yep.
as it goes by you, or it goes sideways by just for, I did a count on most animations for spaceships and things, and you're looking at between 2 and 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's not
You
much.
don't want to go any much longer than that because then people can start looking at it longer, and their eyes get less fooled. You can get away with a lot of funny business by making it shorter. Oh, guess I can't. I gotta look you up a little bit here. Go up underneath there. That don't look so bad. Okay, you get filed in Star Trek files. Hmm. Yeah, somebody did a lot of Warhammer stuff in this thing too, which I'll have to check out. Um.
Well, these Warhammer guys can be fanatics. So.
Oh.
I know. I sell it at my shop.
That's yeah. They're a whole nother world. They're in their own little world.
Pretty
Yep,
much.
yep, yep. But hey, they're not out hurting anybody. I'm fine with
Nope.
it. You know, I actually,
Actually, mostly they're pretty good people. So.
yeah, I like the ideas, and it's so different in a lot of ways. That's what I mean. Like you take a world and you flesh it out, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like what J.R.R. Tolkien did. He started. It took him like almost 12, 13 years to get Lord of the Rings even published, and that was 6 of them after it was done, right, or something like that. Now Canada had a neat little thing in its copyright law, and it says not from the time of publication, but from the time of creation, which is really interesting. And for television, it goes from the first episode's creation, or no, first episode's publishing, and then includes the entire TV run. Want to know a little? Um, 60 Minutes has been on the air longer than 50 years, eh?
Yep.
And under Canadian law, technically, everything they do from now on is actually in the public domain. It's just that's a loophole that's odd.
Yeah, they're just
I
news
get why they
stories
did
now.
it because back years ago, sometimes it took time from creation to publication for something, and sometimes people tried to stop publication from happening, to hold on to something, right? Um, anyway, but I don't know. I don't think, even if I created my own thing, I don't need 50 years. Okay. I figure if I can't keep doing something new every, do a 5 year run of something, get onto a new project. Give me another 5 years of the old 5 years. Let me make some money from reruns. And that's it. I don't need 50 years. I wasn't brought up that lazy. I just 70 years. I guess it's even more in the United States in some ways.
Yep.
It's great. I don't know. That's just all I'd have to do is put lawyers in charge of my stuff after that, right?
This is what happens.
That's what. And now you look at what the result is. Marvel Comics.
Hey Abe, how's it going, buddy?
Yeah. Well, we don't need them. It's like the one guy. It's too bad you didn't watch that other stream, because the one guy is exactly like I am as far as attitude. He says, I got to the point where I didn't want to watch any more of this content anymore, so I decided to create my own. Yep, that's what happens.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. I figure if we got enough of us all get together here, and we gave ourselves little rates off, what I mean, for helping each other, we could accomplish so much more than these other people. Like, let's say a standard rate was for doing something was $50 an hour or 60. Okay, for our little clique of people that come in, 30. And you want to come in, come on in, join. But you got to bring a skill in it and help out.
Afterward prep for drawing. You're welcome to come
whatever.
in and hang out with us, Abe, if you want.
That's
Sorry,
what I mean.
I was answering a chat question.
Oh, so. Yeah. Kids down the hallway here. This one girl, she puts her kids out in the hallway in her apartment building for half the freaking night. Like it's fucking, pardon my language, but I don't know, something wrong with that. Get a babysitter. Not like Canada doesn't have socialism. It comes back to those things where, okay, every kid you get so much fixed. Like, I don't know, it's like a woman on disability with 2 kids in Canada gets $33,000 a year to live on. Yeah. Yeah. So instead of getting a babysitter, you get these drug addicts go and have 5, 6 kids. I could just who thought that this was a good idea?
No idea.
Yeah, well, I don't know either.
Yeah, Abe, if you want to come in, just hit me up on Twitter and I'll send you an invite.
Hold on here, Twitter. Okay? Where am I here?
Oh.
Okay, let's see if I can get in here.
You're already in.
Oh, you're inviting someone else?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I left an open invite so anybody can just come and hang out. So.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool. What was I doing? Oh yeah, back in here, Warhammer. That's the Eldar. Where was that? Yeah, it's this one. Huh?
Oh, thanks, Abe. It's for a friend of mine doing a logo type stuff for him. So. It's for his business. He's an electrical contractor, so.
Yeah, well, not everybody. It was like I gave a story earlier in another chat about how I was 8 years old, 7 or 8, and my mom got me this electrical, I don't know, kit. So when she went out one day, I went and I wired up all the like the kitchen cabinets. So every time she opened one, a loud noise would go off. And it was in a different area. Each one would go off in a different spot, eh? So it was like, woo, woo.
Man, I would have
Oh,
been
did I get a
pissed.
spanking for that? Yep, yep. But it was worth it, you know. No kitchen cabinets or covers got harmed.
That's good. Why is my drawing coming out blurry on
I wonder if I can
YouTube?
increase
It's
quality.
weird. Because
Hold on
like
here.
it's clear on our end.
Oh, wait a minute here.
Yeah, it's perfectly clear on our end, but when it goes to YouTube, it comes out really blurry. I don't understand why.
That's probably YouTube doing something. You know how
Well,
they,
your screen comes out clear.
yeah, and yours is a bit fuzzy, and
Yeah,
that might
and it's
be.
perfectly on my end. If you look in the Google Hangout, it's clear. Or is it clear? Is it
It's a
fuzzy on
little
your end?
fuzzy when I'm looking at you.
That's weird. All right.
I know there's settings and stuff though, right?
Yeah.
And you know how you can set quality? I had mine
Yeah.
set to 720p,
Yeah.
so that
Same
might be
here.
why it's a bit fuzzy. Oh wait, what's this control room thing? Oh no, never mind. What's all this? Oh wait a minute, profile. Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah. Mine's set to 720 bandwidth. Oh,
I don't know.
yeah.
There, whatever you did right there, it just went clear for a second.
Yeah. For a second, but went back to blurry again. Makes no sense.
They're listening
Absolutely
to
none.
us, man. It's Google. They're playing with us. That's like
Software.
earlier today. I was going to get back to how somebody said, "Oh, the SJWs are going to go on the attack tomorrow." I get up today,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd made a test YouTube channel, and this person uh, wrote some rather violent, bad, evil stuff about murdering people.
Okay.
And I went and checked him out on YouTube, and he's got no subscribers. He's made channels, multiple channels on YouTube. He's made channels in the gaming area,
Okay.
and on Facebook, it appears like he's some kind of neo-Nazi right-wing musician member who
Oh.
likes to go dancing around in a circle, and as they're running around in a circle, they all give each other a shot in the head or something.
Hmm.
It's like, okay. So I just reported the guy to Google, and then I said, you know what? I don't want people. And then he put up above himself Trump support things,
Okay.
right? And honestly, I don't think after all the stuff that's just happened that a Trump supporter of any kind would be doing something like that.
Probably not.
No. Especially after in the chat yesterday, they were talking about possibly getting some hosting for the Comicscape people. And one guy said that he would make a website. And because I can actually run services from where I'm living, that is something I could do for people. And of course, then who would you want to be attacking? The people like me, right?
No, I guess.
Well, Mike S. Miller one day, I went in there and he was talking about how somebody was trying to hack his email, and the way he was describing it was exactly the same way someone was trying to mess with me. So I got in touch with Steam and I said, listen, this is what's going on. I need to know the IP address of the idiot that's doing this. And it turns out it's from the same country that he has a guy that's doing some work for him from. And it was from a mobile phone. So I got to, I want to go in there and say to Mike S. Miller, I says, does your friend from Thailand, does he play around with mobile phones a lot? And see what his response is. Because I swear on my grandmother's grave, if his friend has anything to do with messing with me, it's just gonna not end well for him.
Well, there's a lot of people out there, and people can also use
Well,
VPNs too to cover the traces. So
well, there's only so many people in Thailand that can afford. Well, Thailand's different
uh,
now. Yeah, it's not
I've watched what you
Cambodia.
say right there because there's
Yeah,
a lot of people in
there's a
Thailand.
lot of people in Thailand and even Vietnam. I got a pair of shoes from Vietnam I'm wearing right now.
Okay.
You know, nice leather shoes, man. So, and it was made in a factory that didn't use the slave labor either. Ha!
Okay.
On Nike shoes, man. I ain't
Man.
into that. Like
Oh.
in my earlier days, okay, I
Mhm.
was into a lot of the computer programming and hosting and doing different stuff and was gathering stuff to learn about all this. And then these hacker guys come over to me and said, "Yeah, yeah, you got a lot of those. We got a lot of this, and this guy's got a lot of that. Why don't we combine it all together and make like a little archive?" And I thought, what better way to keep an eye on these guys than to be part of them?
Sure.
Yeah, I ended up becoming the leader of something that was in 68 different countries with over 3,400 people and 150 different hacker groups all over the world. That's why I say, why would you want to bother me? Why would anybody want to be bothering me? Oh my God. This is why I don't go and tell my friends these things either, because you know how they would react. They would be, they would take Thailand's internet offline for a week.
Wow.
Or something to that effect. You know what I'm saying?
I get
Is it?
you.
Um, okay. I'm trying to find something. I can't find it. This is really the most disorganized setup directory I have on this thing. I thought I downloaded that. Maybe I did. One thing I was impressed at in these little downloads was the cityscapes. There's some really, really nicely done stuff that people can use. Let me see here. Oh, this is fun. Here we go. We'll do something fun for a bit. You remember Family Guy when they did the "It's a Trap" uh, with the Darth little mini Stewie as a Darth Vader?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't watch Family Guy.
Well, this will be where I put it. There we are. Let me guess. And it's something I can't use. Let's try again. Okay, what is this? Why? Bring that in there. Oh, it's 3 days max. Okay.
Alright. That's great.
Okay. Landed. Flag.
That voice is not correct.
Oh, that looks funky. Okay. Whoa. We have a space cruiser. Okay. How big is this? Oops. Uh,
Damn it. Go slow.
there we go. That looks better. Okay, so I'm gonna label that. So this is what I've been doing for the last week. Just going through, download, check something out, put it in the directory. It's cool. I play with it for a while. Show you guys something. There we go.
Do you draw or anything as well, or what?
I used to draw, and when I was in like grade 7 and 8, I used to even get paid for it. And people would just come up to me and say, "Could you draw us a Ghost Rider for me?" and different stuff like that. And I just haven't gotten back into it in years. And
Why not?
I may get re-inspired. Uh, I'll I've been looking at some of the guys that use the new Adobe Photoshop, and it seems like they're able to draw in it a little bit.
Yeah, you can
So
draw
I
it.
may look into something like that in the future. That'll be, let me get an
I'll just start
upgraded
with pencil and
computer
paper.
first. And I can. The other thing is that there is some softwares that allow you to draw things, and it will then convert them into 3D models.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't ZBrush. There was another software, but they have one also that's sort of that way. It's more like you're molding clay. You get like a lump of clay and you can like play with it and it
Well, that's
shapes it out.
ZBrush.
ZBrush is another piece of software that originally it was going to be designed so that a painter or an artist could go in and draw something and it would be made 3D. So you could move it around, right?
Yeah, that's not what it's used for anymore. It's just for modeling.
Yeah, and it turned out not to be so good to use for that. Now, there was this young Chinese guy about 6 years ago that he made a phone app. You could walk up to a building and you take seven minimum. He said you need 17 pictures. You just walk around the building
Mhm.
and take 17 pictures, and then his software would make a 3D model out of it. He then disappeared. Yeah, he got a job somewhere, and he said, "Screw all of you." Yep, some people, eh? Gotta work.
Maybe.
Damn. Uh, let's see here. Oh yeah, next. That was oh, that was cruisers. Let's make a directory for ships. Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to disappear for just a second.
It's all good.
Mother Nature's calling. I'll be back. We'll let the ink dry anyway. So,
I'm
just a couple minutes.
just organizing my stuff.
Yep. Let's mute my microphone so I'm not making weird sounds.
And Prometheus. It's Star Trek. Uh-huh. Let's see. That's Star Trek. Um, not Star Trek. That is. And that is. Um, What is this? 1910. That's an animal. Station. Here. Star Trek, and another Star Trek, and another Star Trek. Okay. Star Wars. Star Wars.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah. Just moving things around. This will teach me to do just download crazy.
What was that?
Well, it would have like a directory on their website that said like spaceships. So I'd see like a Star Wars model and I'd look at the licenses, free for personal use and commercial. Oh, okay. So I grab that. And
Okay.
then you look on the left, there's another one. So I just keep clicking and downloading and clicking and downloading, not realizing, I'm
A lot
just
of it's the same.
I get all this. I got like 100 things in a directory that are all just different stuff now. And then I'd run into something. Oh, that's a cool looking warrior. I'll take that. you know, I get all these little ideas on different little tracks of different things I can do with stuff, and I just instead of
Gotcha.
sticking just to the Star Wars stuff, put that all in one directory, which is what I should have done. Ugh. One of the biggest models I have is actually besides real cities, which I can't model because of the hardware limitations and whatnot, is Stargate Atlantis's city. When they ended the show, the people that were running it gave out for free the model and scene that they did for Stargate Atlantis, this giant city in an ocean,
Yep.
right?
I know what it is. Yep.
Yeah, it was really nice of them.
It's
And
cool.
yeah, you could do things with that too. I could see something to do with that. Although it wouldn't be Stargate anymore, it'd be something different. You could do something with it. And then I would actually contact him and say, you know what, if something I did using that got popular or something like that, I'd say, well, here you go. Here's a credit, or whatever. Just then hope they don't change their licensing and say, well, damn, we could have made money off that. Castle. Let's see a castle. Okay. Where did it go? I really got to sort this. Star Trek. That could go into here. That could go into there. That's a spaceship.
Okay. Let's see here. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's perfectly clear right now in Google's Hangouts. I mean, perfectly clear.
Yeah, Hangout. But what about? See,
It
on
was
YouTube,
totally
though,
blurry before. I don't know why.
yeah, I don't know either. It's clear on YouTube right now. I don't
And it now
understand.
says on the right hand side HD. It
Yeah,
didn't say that before.
I have no idea.
Google's playing with us, man.
It's either that or I have people in the house using so much bandwidth that it may come
auto
and go.
Yeah, it might have auto detected. Yeah, yeah. Because the way most internet providers are now, they don't give out as much upload ability as your download.
Yeah, except for your fiber here, because
Yeah,
I live right next door to. It's the man.
I just got an offer in the mail from Bell Canada that said they would give me 300 megabit up and down for $46 a month for the next 2 or no, six. It totals $64 a month for 2 years.
That's
Which,
nice.
yeah, but those guys almost cost me my life.
Okay.
They're a real evil company. You guys have Comcast, we have Bell Canada.
Unfortunately, I have Comcast. I live 3 blocks from Google Fiber, and I can't get it.
Oh, I would. I'd dig an underground tunnel to them.
Can't do that.
I know. We can wish though and dream.
Yeah, literally like 3 blocks away is Google Fiber. And just because that's where the city boundary line is.
Well, it's weird
not allowed
because
to go over it.
my provider piggybacks on Bell Canada, and when I phoned them up and told them about this, they said, "Well, you should call back again, and then we'll discuss what options you can get from us." And I said, "Well, you guys only offer 50 megabit at most, right?"
Yeah.
But the reason to stay with them is if I went with Bell Canada, I wouldn't be able to host my web server. I wouldn't be able to run any services that I do, anything, because Bell doesn't let you do that. They block everything. I can even run email servers, everything. And this provider that I have,
They don't do it
I'm,
unless you get a business line, right?
it's like a business line, but
No,
it's
what I
for home.
mean is Bell won't unless you get a business.
That's what they want, and they want
Yeah.
you to then go and pay $200-300 for it.
Yeah.
Which Tech Savvy that I have doesn't do that. I pay $46 a month, and I get 15 megabit internet, and that's just, yeah. I just today I entered my postal code into their site, and it's been downgraded in my area. New people can only get 6 megabit.
That's
Uh-oh.
gross.
Well, I'm grandfathered. I mean, even when I got this 15 megabit, they said I could only get 10. I made a nice little threat back on Bell Canada. It's like they cut my in Canada. No matter what happens, okay, whether you have a pay for a phone or not, you could plug into the wall and call 911.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently one time I went out and this guy and this girl attacked me, and I managed to beat them, but I had been, I got whacked in the face with a freaking piece of wood from coming up from behind him, broke my nose, I'm bleeding all over the place. So I decided I'd get home. I'm going to get an ambulance, I paid my phone bill. I paid for my internet. This should work, right? Nope, they'll cut it off. Yep. And then I just went through this whole thing where they made a mistake and didn't cut my internet off. So I emailed my internet provider in Chatham, which is like 300 miles away, and they sent the police, the fire department, and the ambulance the next fucking day. I was like, oh, I'm in a pool of blood laying there, half out of it. Yeah. Yep. I've had a really, 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 really interesting life. I'd rather not have that kind of interesting light, you know?
I get you.
Yeah.
By
I'd
the
like
way,
to be a
Abe, how's the
hippie and
mic
say
going
peace, love, and
through?
happiness. It's just everyone else doesn't want to have peace, love, and happiness. Anyway,
Hey, Abe, how's the mic sound over there?
you're okay, but you're a little soft,
Distant? Yeah.
soft. It's
Yeah, the
it's like
mic's kind of away from me right now, but I've got a new mic. So, um,
I'm using headphones and a
yeah, I'm not using headphones right now. Usually I do, but
if I take that out though, it
yeah, it would
it,
take it out. Yeah.
it reverbs. Sometimes you'll get that because the microphone's too sensitive or something.
Am I?
No, it'd be like mine would, and then when I talk, it sound like it's da 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 da. I'd say
Oh,
I,
gotcha.
and it would feedback loop into it or something.
Yeah, no, my other mic on my headset has a problem where it adjusts volume all the time, even when I tell it not to.
Yeah,
And
when I plugged this in, I didn't realize I had the volume off. I'm going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I didn't realize there was a little knobby thing on it. These little cheap $5 things.
yeah,
Yeah, I got to start putting some money into some of this stuff.
that's what I had to do. See if I
One
can.
piece at a time, you know. I figured what I'll do is I'll go get a 16 gig RAM chip or two 8 giggers, add them to what I got, right? So it's an upgrade, and just
Yeah.
keep doing the same thing, right? You know,
Let's see here. That is sound. I don't want to say.
and then you can play with the pricing when you see there's a deal, right? Same with
Mm-hmm.
graphics cards. I would wait, honestly, if you're gonna buy a graphics card, I'd wait till say end of January. Because that's when they're gonna say, well, we're not moving any more of these things. You know, we got all kinds of them. And
All right. So how's
Bitcoiners
that? Is
aren't
that a little
buying
bit
them up.
closer? A little bit better?
Yeah, now you're coming through right good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there we
there's
go.
like a 2 foot range for this mic where it's
Wow.
ideal, and I had it like 3 feet back.
Hearing the
So
spiders crawl on the floor, eh?
kinda. Uh,
There's
yeah, I
a
was
comment.
back at the end of my drawing table.
Do, 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 do,
So
do, do. That's looking good, man.
thanks.
I've always had respect for people that can draw. And I've seen
Yeah.
how people they do that thing where they do like an outline and then they put paper over top of it or something or other. I don't know what they're doing there. It's almost looks like they're tracing over it.
For what?
Well, like they do a bit of a drawing, and then they put like a see-through piece of paper over top of it, and they
Okay.
draw on top of it or something.
Okay.
And that's more detailed what they do on top, right?
Oh, I get you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. A
yeah,
lot of technical illustrators do that because they can show what different attachments are like on things, or
yeah. And
it's good for design purposes.
when I used to draw, I would pass right through that stage. I just I would be looking at something and then I could draw it kind of very similar. And people were like, "Oh, this is neat," but I haven't bothered with it. I'm going to get into the animating and doing that kind of thing. The idea here is that okay, if Ethan and his friends and everybody gets going and you get really, doing some nice things, by the time you guys do that, I'll be have my feet rather nicely wet at doing stuff, right? So then I can come back and say, "Hey, how'd you like to get something together? We'll make something really good, and we'll go to Netflix and see if they want to have it." Because that's what Netflix is doing right now. They're slowly dropping all the Marvel stuff, and they're doing their own thing.
Well, Marvel's dropping them. They're doing a streaming service.
Well, it's a bit of both. It's a bit of both because there was some. They have the ability to continue on doing some stuff
Yeah, if they're
longer,
doing
and they
shoot.
just said we don't want it. We
Yeah,
don't want it.
it's too
If
expensive.
you're going to take it from us, then just go. As soon as something real popular though, like Daredevil, they're gonna run it right out.
No, I think we gotta cancel it.
Well, they'll give it another season, and that'll be
We're
it.
gonna cancel
Guaranteed.
it. We're gonna bring it over to Disney streaming service.
I heard Castlevania is supposed to be pretty interesting.
It's pretty good.
I'll have to give that a look. Yeah, no, I just don't feel like I want to do that. What I will do though is I will get out of here. Now, the problem I have with Daz Studio right now, and I'm a techie kind of guy, I just haven't had the urge to sink my teeth into the technical problem that I'm having. As you can see right now, it's sitting here trying to connect to something called CMS. It's called Postgres SQL. It's like MySQL, except it's CMS. And whoever designed the software did not design a proper account creation process when it installed the software. So now I've got to go back in, null the login and password stuff, right? Reset everything, create an account that's identical to mine, all right, with the same password as I use at his website, and then this will work.
It's
That's
weird.
not, and that's to get access to a few features that I don't get with this free version, and to be able to have a store built right into the software. So if I'm sitting here and I wanted this girl on the left, right, and I had $10, $15 in my credit card, and I wanted that in my little animation, I go blink, she's there, download it, okay,
Mhm.
animate, and I'll show you how easy this is to use. And this could be fun for a lot of people just to mess around with. You know, I mean, as long as we're not making any money from it, you know, this would be something I would say don't put on YouTube. If you get monetized, right, then you'd be in a breach
Just
somehow,
something
somewhere.
monetizing it too.
Yeah, it takes 1,000 subs.
No, it doesn't.
No,
No. You click
really.
monetize beforehand. That gives them the ability to run ads and stuff. And then
Oh, okay.
you have to be able to conform to copyright.
In other words, if I'm doing my own original content, they would probably monetize me earlier than most people
No,
because
no, no, no. So you're not going to make any money, right?
no,
So, but it's
they them putting ads.
allows them to put ads in front, saying that it's you're doing stuff that is um,
Copyrighted.
not copyrighted.
Yeah,
You're
and
gonna adhere to
and
fair use.
conforms to the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean you're going to get money.
No, that when I said monetized, I meant when you go to start making a little tiny trickle is about 1,000 subs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I know.
that's what I was.
I'm
I,
never
I've
going to
got
do it with my
I've
channel.
got friends that have 500,000 subs and they tell me different stuff. I've been helping a lot of different people do different things for a long time, eh? And just it's like some of the guys in Comicsgate say. Some of us are just a little bit leery about stepping out into the light. I don't. Sometimes, some days I feel like I want to do everything, and then some days I go, oh, I just wouldn't want to put up with that kind of drama. You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
you know.
I've had my share with Max. I'm good.
hmm And I wonder if because some of those guys know I am a former hacker, retired hacker, whatever you want to call it, if that problem with Mike S. Miller might not have been, and some of the other weird things that happened, that maybe it wasn't him, but somebody else trying to cause a problem between everybody else because they wouldn't want me, being very techy to help these guys out. Because I was in with guys, Kevin Smith and one of his friends approached one of my buddies to have me do podcasts for him half like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a thing where eh, people are kind of on the edge of the industry anyway, and they're trying to make a living and doing stuff. And other people, they don't want to lose any money to you. That's what their real concern here is. Okay. And when they start to, even though it's not our fault why they're losing money, right? It's their treatment of us and everything else, right? That they get jealous. Hey, finally logged in. So anyway, this software is cool. So I go over here and okay, let me see here. I need people. Can I put Victoria in here? Did it give me Victoria? No, I gotta get a scene going first. Okay, so first things first, you go over to the scene thing. It's given me, by the looks of things, 2 scenes to work with by the base. Let's see. There's other ones too. Let's do this one just because it looks neat. I don't know if I want that or not. Ray trace, no ray trace cloud. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm not doing it right. How was I doing that the other day? Here we are. This is, done something here. They gave me an update somewhere. Oh, here it is. And the other thing about this software, you got to be careful when your kids are around because some of the models are not dressed.
Yeah, they're nudes.
Yeah, yeah. Because then what he does is he makes clothes,
Yeah.
and then you can apply those to the model and whatever. So first we'll put this in here. I think this will work. Yep. Now let's go put a ninja in here. I had this chick in a bikini running around. This one. Let's see. Nope. That looks weird. Where was that warrior person? There it is. Got it. And then you select the character. Character pops in. Eventually. Oh, missing her head. That can't be good.
Oh, she doesn't have to breathe.
Never did that though before. Why is the head not there? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe you can put a different head on it. Ah. This will get people going. Put a guy's head on the chick's body. Okay.
I
So
wanted to look at Max Massage the other day.
Why did you do this?
Okay. So yeah, slight glue under.
Oh, that's the outfit. Whoops. I gotta start over. Hold on here. Oops. Okay. First arm up. Okay. So if I went There. So there is a character, and then you exit out of this, and you go up to where is it? There's a little thing called Annie Blocks, and there's a thing called Animate. And you click there, and then you got this dance, biting, gestures, ups and downs, and walks. So, like, if you wanted to do that drop kick thing again, right? Go over here and you just click on that, and when you mouse over it, it shows the person doing the drop kick with their arms out funny like that. It looks stupid. There we go. There. Now she's boxing.
I get you.
Yeah, just sort of hopping around like that. And this is kind of like how this whole thing seems to do it. And it's kind of like it has other software that makes this stuff. Okay.
Hmm.
And in that regards, you have things like um, where was it? This one. And this is free too, but it's also limited. It's 32-bit again, right? His poser software is where you want to buy, and that's where he gets you hooked in with all this nice little fun stuff,
Yeah, that's what's for.
and then he hits you with the, oh yeah, well, this is $600 or for whatever. But
I
he's
mean, yeah,
he's
that's how he makes money on it. I mean, he
like,
spent years developing something.
yeah, I get it. I'm okay with it. He's doing it the right way by giving out this much that all of us can have fun with.
Yep.
Because let's say you get one guy like me with the software that's making some of these things, I could we could make a character for every single person that is in Comics Gate and have them animated. I just had a really crazy idea. Um, have everybody walking down a street and a superhero fly by like Cyber Frog or something like that, and have
Mm,
little, you know, I don't know. It's just different things popping in and out of my head.
yeah, yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Now, in this one, okay, so if I import the file like I was doing before, okay, let's see, go over to here, into Blender files. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that Cyclops was cool. Okay. What you can do with this, see all those little squares on here? The
What?
difference with the other softwares, it makes it easier to actually play with the little vertices and little things on here and whatnot. All these little
Oh yeah, yeah.
squares.
Yeah, the little
This is more
polygon.
sculpting. Yeah, the polygons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 By the way, Abe Sapien said a ZBrush app is called Sculptures or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I have it. I downloaded it and I haven't even tried it, and it looked interesting. And then I saw something in Blender that does the same thing, and I'm thinking, well, why would I want to, you know, have too many extra softwares?
I get you.
Um, and the cheaper and it comes down to, it's not just about the consumer. It's about me doing things as cheaply as I can too, as a so that if I do something that is for profit, I can give it to people at a reasonable price instead of overcharging like most of the greedy gold toilet loving people in most of these industries love. I really don't see it bewilders me how much a movie costs to make. But then I know that it's $7,000 a day for a no-name actor just to say 3 lines in a movie.
Well, that's part of
That's their union.
yeah, the union.
Yeah. Now they want to bring a union into the comic industry. Can you imagine what you're going to be paying your comics for?
Nobody's gonna be buying comics.
That's right. It'll be done. And
Yeah.
if people had known, years ago. See, like it's like this. I won a what was it, 15, 16, about, yeah, 12 years ago. I won a contest on inventory or not inventory, interview skills. And I got free tickets to go see a movie. That was just kind of the thing to do. So I went and I figured, okay, I'll go on. They gave me a card for something like $15 or something, right?
Yeah.
So I figured I'll go on cheap Tuesday night when it's $5, and then I'll at least get a pop and popcorn, right? So I
Sure.
walk in there, and they take the whole card on me, and then it was $17 for this crappy pop and popcorn. And I'm looking at the guy, and you want to tell me I'm saving $1? I says, no, you keep that. And then I go in and I was watching Alien versus Predator. There's me and another guy in there. And I swear to God, this guy was camming the movie. He had his little phone out and he was trying to,
Yeah.
and the security guy kept watching me. I have long hair. Okay. I mean, I'm not, I look kind of suspicious, but still, I just thought, you know what? Screw you. I'm not going to say a thing just because you're stereotyping. And they did. They stopped the movie 4 times during it. There's just me and another guy in the theater, right? I mean, come on. That was funny.
So Abe said that he tried it out, but it couldn't make it work right. He's kind of limited on the phone using your fingers or an imprecise stylus. So
Okay, how do I move this around? Rotate mode.
I don't know. I've never tried it, so
Here we go.
not too sure I will.
This is like the second time I've used this software. Okay, so what's this do? Okay, that's that way. In and out. Okay. Woo. All right. It's different. Raise mouse selects. Now what's this stuff do? Wireframe. Okay. What's that? Huh? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You ever just start software up and start hitting buttons?
Nope.
That's what I do. Sometimes if I don't understand what something is, I'll try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You have to reboot your computer.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really depends on what software I'm using, I guess.
What was it the other day? I don't know what I was doing, but it totally caused a reboot.
I don't know. You'll have to tell me.
I can't remember. So yeah, so the neat thing here is it makes it easy to do the surface modeling, and these are the little things that I was talking about. You can, like, if I want to push this one here, I then go like this, and then grab a hold of something. I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Click on the corners of the box containing the items. Yeah, and it's selected, and then when you're done, it pulled it up, and
Yep.
then I can make like a dent in his head, or I can go up like this, and then woohoo. That's kind of neat. It makes it easy to do certain things.
Yeah, ZBrush does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, this is free.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about value for everybody. Like,
I just like ZBrush is easier to use, I think.
well, see, this is what you pay for, and I'll be honest. Okay, and this goes to everybody listening: is that when you buy software in this industry with this kind of thing, what you're doing is you're getting a lot more convenience
Mm-hmm.
and the plugins that will allow you to do extra stuff. Did you know
Mm-hmm.
that I still use Adobe Photoshop 5.5?
Okay. I use
You want to
CS.
know why? There's one plugin that you can't get, I don't think, and it allows me to make planets with atmospheres on them.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And the guy doesn't, he stopped making the plugin after, I think, it'll work on version 6, and I never bothered to buy version 6, so whatever. But as long as that software still keeps working, whenever I need to make a planet, I make the 2D image, and then I pull it into this. I can pull it back into Bryce, make a sphere, and I put the I make a transparent like bitmap or a GIF, and I wrap it right onto it, and it works great.
Cool.
I think I did that once. Where was that? I think I can find it. Did it? Did it? Did it? What was this? Oh, yeah. Nope. Hmm. Not there either. Where did I do it? Oh, don't tell me I didn't save it. Ah, that took hours to figure out. Now, basically, you go like that. Take this, click on this. Where are you? Oh, wrong one. And then you click on the diffusion. Right over here. You can put different stuff on it there, or where was it up here? No, wrong one. Go like this. There it is. Put the moon in there. Over there. Now, why won't that go? Oh yeah, there we go. And then do that, and we do this. There's a weird looking planet. Now, mind you, the ones that I made in with Photoshop actually have atmospheres around them, and you can see that little kind of glowish thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you do terrestrial stuff, where you see continents, you can see that on there, and that's a neat way of. And you can animate this stuff, and even the clouds.
Yep.
And it's hard with the software because this would take extra effort, because what I'd have to do is in Adobe Photoshop change the cloud pattern just a tiny bit, go put the image back on here again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then move the slider, go back to Adobe Photoshop. So this is where, needing the extra RAM and CPU power will start to go. Or better yet, just go use 3ds Max and pay them. What is it up to? It's $2,000 a year now for that.
I don't know.
It was something like that. It's a lot better than it was. I mean, I think you can get a $1,500 subscription, yearly subscription. Still, 10 years, 15 grand. Anyway, out of there, back to doing what I was doing. Oh, yeah, I wanted to look at that castle.
Yeah, Abe, I use CS just because that's the license I bought for it many years ago.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, I was answering his question why.
Oh, yeah,
Because he
yeah.
uses CS2, and I have CS, so.
Ask ask any of your users if they use an Adobe Photoshop, and I think the plugin was called Black Cat, and it.
Well, there's only two of us in here, so
Oh,
they can
okay,
hear you.
yeah.
We're
Well,
I'm
I'm
not
not
that
on.
popular.
Yeah, I'm not on the channel, so I don't know. But
I get
anyway,
you.
the I would go and I would buy, this this plugin is so worth it. okay, that I would actually buy Adobe Photoshop if they had this plugin for it. I am pretty sure they don't have it. Um,
I've never seen it.
no, and
Well,
that's the thing. I mean, eh, and there's issues with the old Adobe Photoshop that after a certain amount of time, there's a file that gets corrupted, and then you have to reinstall the software all again, and then there's this. It's just a whole bunch of. Meh.
yeah, I get you.
But and the thing is, this was not intended to be used to make planets.
No,
It was a solar flare program. It was part of a bundle package,
okay.
and I just messed around with stuff, and suddenly I'm creating these things, and people are going, "Hey, that's neat."
What was that?
Now, me or someone else?
For what?
Oh, creating the little spheres with planets.
I didn't say anything. I was taking a drink.
Oh,
Sorry, man.
well, it's sounded like somebody said something there, and I went, "Well,
No, no,
what?
no. I
Huh?
was
Huh?
taking a
Huh?
drink.
Huh?
And
Huh?"
sometimes my chair squeaks. And
Yeah, I should get a copy here soon. This is really, really tedious. There it is. I want to see this castle. And the other good thing here is that most of these files that I get
Mhm.
have better versions of them for the higher computers so that if you upgrade later, you can do things. When you
Okay.
get errors like this, where there's a texture missing, you just go back to the same directory and see there's a directory called texture. Look down here and you go in here and go, castle exterior texture. Oh, that'd be this one. Woo! Sometimes the software doesn't have the same paths as doesn't save the right path
Yeah, yeah.
as compared to the other guy's PC. So that's why you get that error. It didn't use up what's called a relative pathing system.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Not a bad looking base castle. Hold on here. It's a little up in the air, so let's bring it down to the ground. Back up a bit. Circle around it. I want to see this side. Yeah. Hmm. I could make a video game out of some of this stuff.
Make one. What's stopping you?
Absolutely nothing, actually. I've actually been gathering pieces for, and I'll show you this. That little rat man is going to be part of something. There's a game called. Oh, where was it? Have it here. Uh, Let me see. I'll have to find it here. Anyway, it's open source. It is, however, based on Java. And the thing is, it's free. And I got mucking around with it with stuff before where I would change other people's images and put my own stuff in there. And it just makes the game look so much better than crap. It's like a board game, this thing. But you can play it online and it's like a war game. There's an Axis and Allies version. It's like Risk, not Risk, but a little more complicated.
Okay.
And it's like World War II, and you got all the countries, and you got all their little, you got soldiers and tanks and airplanes, you got submarines, you got cruisers, you got frigates, and you got to manage your economy, and you got to do all this stuff. It's pretty cool little board game. We used to all get hired and drunk in school or higher, I'll say college, and be playing this game, and I'd take Russia and I'd be kicking Germany's ass all the time. Nobody could figure out how I figured out all this stuff on how to do it. I says I looked at the
You're
board,
pretty
put
brilliant.
all my armies in one spot, and went right next into that little spot there. And then
Yeah,
he's got to spend the rest of the game trying to take it back from me, and I just take it back,
yeah.
which prevents him from doing anything with Russia.
Yeah, it was broken.
Yeah, it was broken. That was one. So there are different maps. There are people
Okay.
from Asia that did Chinese maps. There's Japanese maps for the samurai. There's fantasy ones for like dragons and monsters and stuff. There's like it goes and then they give you a program to make your maps and things. It's a bit complicated. I gotta admit that aspect. But if I put my foot down on it, I could probably make a few of these things and give them out and stuff like that and blah blah blah. There's
Uh,
no money in that, right?
welcome,
But it keeps me amused. Like this is part of the yeah, okay. I don't have to be. From my angle, I'm not always worried about money. Okay,
We
that's
get you.
one thing with me. I mean, I'm on disability. Um, I'm doing all right. I mean, yeah, okay. I'd like to be making the same money I used to make when I was at work. That'd be double the amount that I have now. But you know, eh, I'm not starving. I got health care. You know, and I got internet. So play around. Yeah. What was I gonna say there? Oh yeah. What's it called? I want to know what that. Oh yeah, AAA is the name of the game.
Triple A.
Yeah, you can find it at. Let's see here if I can. Here we are, right here. AAA, and like the A right after the triple, and then a dash game.org, and then you see all these different maps that they have. Right. We even got one for the Roman Empire and stuff, and that's nothing. There are like 50 to 100 different maps.
Oh, that's
And you
cool.
see how these little graphics are? They sit on this map, right? Like they would sit on this map, right? In that little square. Now, if you made something that looked three-dimensional and it was transparent, it would look way better. That's what I'm saying. I could go through and make new images for all these things as long as the images I'm using from this other site say for personal use or commercial, right?
Cool.
Because then that covers everything, and
Yeah.
that's what they did. Let's see if I find that site. Where was it? Where was that? Different browser.
Welcome, guys. How you guys doing tonight? Got a few more people in the chat now.
There we are. See what I mean? Now imagine this little image of this sword guy right here in that game, right? Now shrink him down, right? Make it, transparent image like a bitmap or a GIF or what a ping file will do, and then you can have neat looking things, and it doesn't have to be that green color, by the way. So I went through this whole site and grabbed every single one of those things, right? Now, when it says for personal use, that means you can't use it for commercial use. So in open source software that's free, you're good to go.
Yeah, I get you.
Doing little things like this is how you get your feet wet into stuff.
Sure.
At least you're doing things. This is what I mean. I like this furniture. I need a chair. Oh, look, a toilet. No way.
There's your
All right,
throne.
everybody. We are now going to download a toilet. I'm going to put Mark Wade's head in it.
Okay.
I'll put that on Twitter, and all those guys will go crazy. You know what? I've had a Twitter account since 2009, and I only started using it in the last week.
Yeah.
I almost have no use for it, really. From what everyone else tells me, if I speak my mind out there, I'm just going to get banned anyway. At least this way I can keep an eye on those crazy people.
Wow.
I've seen some of the crazy things these people say. It's just, I guess,
when people
from somebody's point of view, that they aren't having to pay for a mental hospital is the only reason they're allowed to continue the way they're doing it.
Look, everybody has the right to voice whatever they want to voice. You know, we're not subject to. You know, we don't want to be regulated. They don't want to be
Yeah, I
regulated.
know. My father was bipolar, and he
Yeah,
made me a promise him that I wouldn't put him in a home, right?
yeah.
And I said, as long as you're able to look after yourself more or less, and I'll come and live with you for a while and do that, help you out. And sure enough, things are going okay. So I moved back out, and then he came and see me one day, and then a week later he was dead. And the person who was supposed to be coming by looking after him didn't even bother for a whole week. And how do I know that? Well, there were 6 newspapers sitting at the end of the driveway. I wasn't too impressed about that.
No, sorry about that.
Well, no,
But,
hey, I wouldn't be
but,
sorry. He went the way he wanted to go. That's
yeah,
the way to think about it, right? That's
but
the way
them are
everyone should
those
feel.
are
You should
kids.
be
So,
feeling good that
uh,
somebody got to live their life the way they wanted to,
uh,
without dictation of the larger masses telling them what to do. And this is a guy, I'm not kidding you, he went from having nothing, okay? He basically lived in a tent and then built the foundation of a house and then lived in that for a year and then built the house, had to tear it down because he built it wrong. And then he finally built another one. And then he built 9 more houses in his lifetime and ended up with almost $1 million in the bank. And then just because he used to be a biker, and even though he retired, the government came by and had this woman uh, pop up at the end of his life, take everything on me and my brother. So yeah, I was really not. That's the part that people should be angry about. He never did a day in jail. Okay, he wouldn't. He didn't. I could tell you. He just such an strange biker. Then, if you wanted to call it that, because he just didn't know some things that I would think they should know. Hard to talk about that, but anyway, without getting into specifics that might get me in trouble with some people that I'd rather not have any more issues with.
true.
Oh, whatever. And I gotta wonder too, if half the problems in my life haven't stemmed from just his association right there, eh? It probably was. I could be like I remember I was on some pain medicine for a while, many years, almost 16, 17 years, and my doctor retired, so I haven't had any for a while, and I'm in a lot of pain too. That's another issue. But when I went to live back home with my father at that point, he was home all the time, most of the time, right? So he went
Mhm.
out to dinner one time, and he was dating this mother who had 2 kids that were police officers. And I don't know how the conversation came up, but they mentioned I was on some medicine, and then the one guy said, "Well, we think he's dealing his medicine." So I says to my dad, I says, "I've been here now almost 8 months. You see anybody showing up at the door?" He goes, "No." I says, well, "How the hell can you listen to these stupid idiot people? This is the kind of crap that they start just so that they can maintain keeping their job. Oh, I mean, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I get triggered. They would rather see us all in pain, suffering, in a bad mood.
Hold on, we're gonna take that call.
Yeah.
Get that back. Where is that?
Okay, we got a toilet now. This is cool. Hold on. I'll bring Photoshop up here too. Do that. I'll bring something. What will I do here? Let's just let me see here. Something I could just draw with over here. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Select inverse. Filter. Flaming. Oh yeah, the plugin's called Flaming Pear, and then you go over here to this lunar cell, and then this pops up. And how did I get it to go like a little round thing? Oh, it's a transparent image. That's why. Never mind. Okay. There. Um, where's the eraser? Where's the eraser? You are. Whoops. How do I? Come on. Let's do this the easy way. Flatten it. There we go. So now you see all these little dials and things, and then you can see a planet. If I just click OK,
That's cool.
this will just pop a planet into that. That looks pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Where is there? Where is that thing? Where did I get? Nope, that's not it. Why is it doing it like that? Oh, neat. There we go. That's how we move the clouds. Make about 5,000 of those images, and then you got a rotating planet with clouds. Oh my god. I am trying to figure out how I make it a full planet rather than just sunset. No, that's not it. Brightness. No, that's not it. Depth. There, no. Land texture. No.
The man ape, what's up?
Oh, yeah, that's it right there. Put a dot in the middle. And you're done. And that's a big planet. 1,300 by 1,000. Yay. So yeah, in this directory here, remember we were talking about a game, right? All these little RAR files and zip files are different pieces that I could use to put into something like that that guy did. And he did it for the 3D printing so people could make actual figurines.
Mhm.
And my idea is to shrink them down and make them into something that could be used in a game that makes the game look more presentable to people rather than having a flat surfaced object as a soldier. You now have a better looking three-dimensional thing.
Yeah, I get you.
Now I might have to fill in some gaps here on different stuff too, right? Like I just make my own game out of that. Deal with it. I don't want to be getting too many projects on the go. Killican. Did I have that up here? Okay, I got pads. Where's that skull thing? Okay, that's Star Trek. That's Star Trek. We will render the toilet soon. Minute. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit more. The Apollo is a Star Trek vessel. Let's see how you're doing. Wow, that looks good, man.
Nice.
Yeah, you're hired.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what for yet and how much I'm going to ever pay you, but yeah. You know who he look makes me remind me of?
Mm.
Early uh, early Lex Luger from like the early animated. A little
Uh,
bit, a little bit. So the only difference is the eyebrows are different.
yeah, this is based off my friend's picture. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it's him going to be on the side of his truck and stuff. So,
Rah, the muscles.
Abe,
Rah.
yeah, we are planning on doing another one. Jeff just needed time to do his book, get it out there, and then he's going to Tucson Comic Con right now. So I think he's just taking a little bit of downtime. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
as
bit
far
of
as I know, we plan on doing it again. So
a trek.
I've been doing the fan art ones right now. I got
And that's a good thing to advertise yourself and keep yourself in the loop of things, you know?
oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Because they do keep a little bit of an eye on that. Ethan's I know what Ethan's up to, and I'm just gonna leave him to his own thing because he knows he can do it. He just wants to make sure that he has enough of the right people around to do it, and then to make a system where it will perpetually feed into it so that it never ends. And by having it more fan based, more consumer based, you know, he may not make as much profit in the huge margins. Where if you make more in the quantity of it while doing the quality. I don't know if I said that right, but
I know what you mean.
yeah,
Yeah, I understand, Abe. I want to go out there to that show too. So, um,
I mean,
unfortunately, I with bills at the same time.
I
That
did music producing a few
suck.
years back. I know about how dealing with Hollywood and its people. They can be. It gave me kidney stones. Let me put it that way. That much stress having to put up with their. I'll just say the nice word eccentricities. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, clever. Uh, Speaking of toilets, where is it? Where did it go? What's going on here? I was just looking at it too. All right, what the heck did I do with that? It's a spaceship. This one. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's funny. This is an awful big toilet.
I'm a big guy. I need a big toilet.
Well, it's actually accurate too. It's got the even the actuator arm on the back here. The only reason I know about actuator arms and toilets is because of actually doing work on the big satellite dishes that people used to have. It's the same principle.
Yep.
Yep.
A simple mechanical lever.
Oddly, that came up one time when I had to fix something.
Okay.
Strange knowledge. We're gonna make a crystal. No, we're gonna make a gold toilet. Come on here. This will come in there. Oh, I didn't do it right. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Actually, that looks that's more funky. Hmm. Oop. Hmm. And then you're going to increase the quality.
Careful. Ideas lead to bad things.
Okay. We now have a toilet with a mirror. It looks like it's got a mirror underneath the lid. I don't know why you'd want to look at your turds underneath the lid, but anyway. I can see a reflective surface on it, and I just don't know why it's doing that.
I don't know, my man.
Maybe midgets, pardon me, height challenged people use these toilets. Put one of these in the movie Time Bandits. There you go.
Okay.
I miss. I'm gonna watch that show. That was actually a funny little movie to watch. Remember these some of these weird shows I used to watch when I was a kid, and like you just wouldn't be able to get away with doing some of these movies anymore.
Nope.
That's it. It's even got the plug that goes into the back of the wall where the water comes up. That's funny. Looks good though. Well, when I need to smash a toilet in a video game that I make, there you go. What else we got here that I haven't looked at? I gotta stop doing these silly things and put the rest of these in the right directories. I want to look at that typewriter though. Oh yeah, that's detail.
You should watch Time Bandits. It's pretty good there, Abe. Poor pen needs more ink.
I kind of figured out why a TIE fighter could be actually a neat design. The center part, if you had a light source on one of the other sides of a panel, technically you can't see the middle part of that ship to shoot at it. You'd have to use like a sonar type or a laser beam targeting to actually see where it is. That's just sort of an idea that I just sort of, because as I'm modeling this, I put it into a camera, the light source at a different angle, and it kind of made it the middle piece vanish where you could see the two outer pieces. Then again, you just hit the outer pieces anyway.
Let's see if we got some refill for this one.
Yeah, just me rambling out loud.
You're good, dude.
Oh yeah, the Death Star. There we go. Do that later. And how big is this? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Here we go, boys. This is a test. Will it load?
I don't know.
Here we go. 50 meg. This is. I don't know. I don't know. Usually it takes this long to blows up.
Oh, yeah, blues. You may have to go to the store and get yellows.
And it worked. Wow, look at the detail. Hey.
Ah, there it is. I knew I had it. Of course, I haven't opened it yet.
Shrink it a little. Whoa. That's heavy.
young.
I have to look at a show and look at the nacelles on this. Something looks off on them. The rest of the ship's spot on though. Hmm. Yeah, you do the back of the nacelles right. That's fine. That can get fixed easy enough. Okay, that's cool. I like that. What's weird is the more I go into better quality in the rendering, the
Mm-hmm.
more it seems to let me do better, higher stuff. Maybe that's part of the. It has a problem loading something from the file when it's not complicated or something that blows up on you. Yeah, that could be, which would be cool. It would open up a lot of things. I have a couple Terminators that are like, whoa, they're neat. Oh yeah, back. So vehicles, people. Where was it? Characters. Yeah, somebody did an Iron Man here for free that is just sweet. I'll render that now. I'll show you guys. And what's he saying for just for personal use? Yeah. Like see the image here? That looks pretty darn good, boys and girls. That's Iron Man. I mean, it looks like that when I render it. Uh, takes yeah, never mind. Takes 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't even think it would have gone here that much longer.
Those little tiny belly guns. Everybody wakes up tomorrow and I go, I'm done.
There you go.
Like that one skull. Hold on here. I was going to use that in making a version of Skeletor because the base skull had a different color for the like his lower jaw, and that kind of had that feel of what Skeletor was like, you know. And all I would have had to have done is take it into that hexagon program and sharpen the teeth a bit, give him some
Mm-hmm.
fangs, and then you got the head. The problem I was having was trying to figure out how to make a hood, right? And I was thinking, so I just kind of I got the rest of them made, and then I'm like, hood, I don't know what am I gonna do. I tried taking a cone and then like kind of warping it over the back of his head and kind of stretching it different ways, and it just looked real stupid.
Mm.
But you know, I'd get there eventually. It just, and I don't see anybody giving out any Skeletor stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's just that's just
No,
something.
it's just kind of old. And
Yeah, it's like way back. But you could use something like that as something different, right? You don't have to make it Skeletor. You can make it a new thing altogether just by changing it enough. I mean, it's old enough no one would even probably even care.
you know, they'll still care.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, Mickey Mouse is in the public domain up here, and yet Disney will sue you if you try and do anything. That's the fear I have of doing the Star Trek up here with it being in the public domain. And let's say that NAFTA, the new NAFTA deal, doesn't happen and it stays at 50 years for copyright. Okay, um, would enough Star Trek fans get behind me if CBS tried to sue me? You
Well,
know, and,
you're gonna
and
have to.
they're probably enough angry ones out there that if I pulled off something to start like Axonar, but without the bullshit of that guy, where he was trying to actually make money under copyright. Uh, you know, I think you'd see CBS back off pretty quick. You
I
know,
don't know. I don't
that's
know.
the only thing about it, eh? People say,
They're
"Well, you
gonna
just be
give it
careful, eh?"
a try
I
too.
says, "Well, what are you gonna do? Sue me? Right? Go ahead. I mean, you can't. It's even law here. They can't do it
Yeah.
if I'm not making money. But when I go to make money, they could try, right? The big issue is it going to look good for them to be suing a guy who's trying to do something who's on disability? You know what I mean? The press. You got to understand that if you're
Hey,
going
hey,
to,
have a good night, brother. Have some good dinner, dude.
yeah, if you're going to take the risk like Ethan did and whatnot, you got to know how to use the system here to make sure that you don't get back-ended,
Yeah.
right? So these are little things in my head, and then I got to think about the people that are with me too and around me, prepare them for any whatever. And ah,
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm just going to do it anyway.
Okay.
you know
Yeah. All right, brother.
and I'll do it myself as much as I can, and then ask for a little bit of help from some other people. And then you know
Yeah.
the idea is, once I get all the models, and I'm going to animate it, okay, where you don't need real people, other than maybe voiceovers.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea here is that uh, I could then, once I get the base models done and some scenery and different things and stuff like that I'm allowed to use and whatnot, then I can just create an episode, voice everything into it, et cetera, et cetera, and then do another episode. You could get half a season done and then put it all out there. And then by the time they're suing you, all these Trek people might enjoy themselves, and then they'll be going, "Why are they suing you? It's in the public domain." You know,
I don't know.
countersuits are can be awful things.
Yep. That's cool.
Because once it's in the public domain, I'm allowed to make money off your stuff now if I find a new and innovative or a derivative way of making money from it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Society gave you 50 years. It's our turn.
All right, Kronos. I'm actually gonna call it. I
I
gotta
don't know.
take off and do
Maybe
a
I'll
couple
make
things.
a
Kronos.
completely new universe and just use Star Trek models in
Kronos.
it.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, eh?
All right, I'm calling it for the night, dude. But thanks for hanging out, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right, brother. Yeah, I'll put out an invite again too later on. So maybe another night or something like that. Maybe later tonight. So. All right.
Yeah, what I'll do one of these days too, when you wanted to see that Dash Studio, I'll have that all corrected, and then I'll walk you through some more of that, and then you can see, because
Yeah, I get you.
then you can sketch in stuff like you're doing right there,
Mm-hmm.
and with a little bit of extra stuff, you could actually make some models and
Mm-hmm.
bring it in there, and then I'm gonna have to learn about how they path stuff and set the little things in there.
Okay.
And then once I learn that, I can teach people that stuff and then go from there. He's got a lot of tutorials out there that are free to watch. So I'm going to take some time and look at that, because this is one aspect that I've been kind of leaving to
Yeah.
the right of me for a while. So, you know,
All right, dude.
yeah, we'll get together again. And by then, I should be more along the lines of knowing what I'm going to be doing too. Cause I have, with this copyright thing, I just don't know what I'm really going to be doing. Right.
Yeah. All right, bro.
All right. Good night, man.
You have a good night, sir.
Yep.